And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It's Monday. It is April 27th. It is 2026. Hope you had a good weekend. As always, serious talk on everything that affects you. We'll do the markets, the economy, your job, your industry, the war, tariffs, assassination attempts, and whatever else comes to mind. If you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our X feed. If you don't follow us on X, just go there and put our name in. If you'd like to email us, just be nice, just be respectful, completely disagree with us, but just be respectful, because we'll be respectful back, unless you like Hamas. My comments on the events of the weekend. I don't give a crap what a politician says or does. People like this man who took a train cross country and attempted to assassinate any number of people that worked in the administration via his manifesto, and the president let him rot in jail the rest of his life. I don't want to hear about not in his right mind. I don't want to hear anything except indict him, try him, find him guilty, and put him in jail for as long as you can. Put him in jail. It's simple as that. That's where I start. It's just like Luigi. I must tell you how disheartening it is how women are lining up sending him mail that they want to marry him because of Luigi's good looks, while he, cowardly prick that he was, stood behind the man and shot him in the back. Well, the first part of what I wanted to say is they indicted him, and he will not be seeing the light of day for a very long time. And I always think to myself, do these people think things through? He put out a manifesto. He actually sounded lucid in his manifesto, but it was almost like, yeah, I'm going to go to Publix. I'm going to make my list of food to get. I'm going to walk down these aisles, and this is what I'm going to get, and hopefully I can get a 2-for-1. It was like so matter-of-factly, his manifesto. That's number one. Number two, I am not a conspiracy theorist. I know there are people out there that believe 9/11 was an inside job. We didn't land on the moon. But I'm also a logical person. And this is all I'm thinking to myself. Remember Butler, Pennsylvania, where the scumbag shot the president in the ear and he's now dead, the scumbag? I'm no Secret Service, but if I want to protect somebody, I'm putting somebody in every roof that has a chance to shoot. And they didn't. And I'm thinking to myself, are these people inept? Was the security inept in Butler, Pennsylvania? That dead idiot should never been able to be on that roof, let alone with a roof with a rifle. And there are people out there that believe that was a conspiracy and there's more people. I can almost not blame them, because how do you not cover that roof? That's number one. Because it takes me to this weekend. How is it possible I don't care if it's a hotel, how is it possible that anybody could get to where they got to with a long rifle in their hands? I don't understand. In my humblest of opinions, they have advanced teams for all these things. Do you know we're finding out they did not name this a major league security thingamabob at this hotel? What if he had a bomb? What if he had a bomb? What if there were 3 or 4 of them? I'm just letting you know, absolute ineptitude if you ask me. And by the way, I've been in that Hilton a few times. I've stayed there. I don't know the exact setup and how it was, but I have to tell you, where they are in that big room, it's like a turkey shoot if this guy got through. So I think whoever does they better get their frickin' act together. This should have been easy. Oh, but it's a hotel, it's a work. I don't give a crap. Do you know who was in there? The president, the vice president, the speaker of the House. 1, 2, 3. You know who's after that? The president pro tem. You know who that is? Grassley. I think he's 114 years old. After that is the cabinet. And they, I think, were mostly there. You know what you do at the hotel? You have one of those thingamabobs getting into the hotel. You let the hotel guests know, hey, we're just letting you know you're going to come through this. It's going to take you a couple of minutes. Sorry. But this is why. And then you do another one up the steps or down the steps. And then you do a third one. Do you know why? Because you got the president, vice president, and the speaker of the House there. And a lot of the cabinet. Next. All of these people now all of a sudden calling for unity can kiss mine. Unity. Who are they trying to kid? From top down, they don't believe in unity. None of them. Do you know, right after 9/11, you want to hear about unity? Bush called for unity. Do you know Ted Kennedy was heard whispering to other senators? We can't let him get popular over 9/11. And I'm paraphrasing. We must do everything. Ted Kennedy. There's not going to be any unity. The president was already ripping on a reporter who asked a moronic question, whoever that woman is on CBS 60 Minutes. And frankly, I almost can't blame him. She picks out something from the manifesto about pedophiles and rape. And she asked the president knowing that that's who is addressing. So there's your reporter not giving a crap about unity. The Democrats, they don't care about unity. They had Biden's Justice Department go after Trump for 4 years. But guess what the president's doing? Going after them. So just want to let you know they can take their unity and I'd love to see it. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. They'll still call Trump Hitler, fascist, racist, rapist, pedophile. He's gonna still rip them to shreds. So just letting you know. And by the way, this is not even being a cynic. We just know. I am thrilled that nobody got hurt. Thrilled that nobody got hurt. And I would suggest to whoever runs the security for the president, get tough. And put a couple of more layers on security. Don't you think? That's my take on the whole thingamabob. Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. Unfortunately. And now, the markets. That's up next on this, the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Politicians. You suck, you suck, you suck, you suck, you stink, you're racist, you're Hitler, you're a homophobe, you're this, that, and the other thing. Oh, let's have unity. All right. Quite an interesting day, may I state for the record. A few things of note. Friday was an amazing day. Intel gapped up, and you had these unbelievable sympathy moves on Intel. A KLAC up 118, AMD, ARM, quite insane. You also had the same time NVIDIA break out of a 6-month trading range on Friday. Well, a lot of the extended stuff had a rough day today. A lot of the extended stuff had a rough day today. But as I scanned, it looks like a fly on an elephant's butt. Oh, we were up 40, so we pulled back 12. That's what I saw a lot of. But on top of that, I saw NVIDIA up almost another $9 today, and that's the big guy. I saw Micron completely break out today. SanDisk with the target raise up $80 today, even though earnings are in a couple of days. Google the NASDAQ was up 50. NASDAQ 100 was only up 2. The Dow was down 62. Couldn't give a crap. The market is in good stead, notwithstanding I've got 13 pages of earnings. And for the record, Wednesday after the close, and by the way, that is right after the Fed meets on Wednesday, and they're not going to do anything. But you ready for this? Wednesday after the close? Meta, Microsoft, Qualcomm. How's that? Amazon and Google. I never call them Alphabet. 4 monster stocks in size, and Qualcomm. Oh, and KLAC, and Ford, and eBay, and Chipotle, and Cheesecake Factory, and Carvana, and C.H. Robinson, and Netgear, and O'Reilly Automotive, and Plexus, well, you get the point. So, big week. A lot of Jell-O's going to be moving on the plate. We'll be looking for things that are gapping up because of strong moves, accelerations in earnings and sales. I've got Sanmina closed at 188. They beat by a mile. It's 206 in the aftermarket. These are the things we're going to be looking for. Simple as that. And let's hope there's a bunch. On the other end, I have Celestica closed at 422. I got it at 397 in the aftermarket. That's not good. But we don't own it. And that's how we're going to roll this week. And when I say there's a ton, I mean there's a ton. And when I say you better stay on your game, Domino's Pizza today was down $32 to $336 and is at a new yearly low. Domino's Pizza. 5% drop in earnings, 3% sales growth, which is a deceleration. You know what they should have mentioned? Oh, we're going to make some artificial intelligent pizza. Then the stock would have been up 30. That's a little sarcasm, but not really. So, even with the semis down, I thought it was a just fine day. And when you have the biggest stock break out of a 6-month range in NVIDIA, not so sure bad things are going to happen. But again, I got 13 pages of earnings. I also have to mention the big banks. I think they're setting up for higher. The problem with saying that, though, you got the Fed Wednesday. You never know what the hell they're going to say. That would change that playing field. But I'm letting you know, all things being equal, they're setting up the banks for higher. And that's not a bad thing. I can promise you, if banks are going higher and semiconductors are in shape, terrific. But then you have McDonald's down $9 today, near new yearly lows. I didn't see any news on it. So a lot of jello moving on the plate. Stay tuned. We'll name names. Oh, McDonald's got downgraded. By the way, I still haven't been to a McDonald's in, I'm going to guess, 25, 30 years. And I used to live off McDonald's in college. Chicken McNuggets. That's kind of like not real 100% chicken. But Chicken McNuggets. College. Yeah. There's still a war going on, or there's not. There's a ceasefire. The latest, our president is now changed his mind for the 47th time, maybe 57, in that now it's all good. We'll let you know. That's the latest. We'll let you know. You know what we think? Complete miscalculation. I don't think there's any winners, but complete miscalculation on Iran. And how it plays out, don't know. Oil prices were up another $2 today. Market doesn't give a crap. For a while it cared. Right now, does not care. Now, if war, all that breaks out again, don't know. Will be and everything, because if anything we know about this president, this is not a put down, he's very active, and you just don't know what's next. If I had his ear, I would say less is more. Do less, say less. Else in the market, crypto, little bit better, no biggie. Software, little bit better, not thrilled. Semiconductors finally had a down day, but way off the lows. I think it was down, the SOX was down 200 and change, finished down 105. As I said, KLAC finished only down 40. I think it was down 70 something. Tomorrow will be another day. Up next, this, that, and the other thing. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. All right. SpaceX. Boy, oh boy, am I getting a lot of emails. What do you think of SpaceX? Do you think I should buy? when it comes public? Well, I can only answer that question when it comes public. Why? Because I do not know what it's coming public at. And we're talking valuation. In case you don't know, SpaceX is also Starlink, which is amazing. Besides SpaceX, there are talks of $1.6, $1.7 trillion. If, this is just my opinion, if it comes out at those levels, I'd be careful. But wait till I see the numbers. Wait till I actually see the valuations. I want to hearken back to all the IPOs, at least most of them, of the past year or two. We put out a warning shot to you. Not because we're geniuses, but because we noticed all these initial public offerings were opening hot and selling off. So we told you, be careful. Because a stock called Bullish was a $37 IPO and they opened it at $115. It's back to $39. Hit a low of $29. How about Chime? $27 deal opened at $45. It's $22. Hit a low of $17. I know you heard of Figma. $33 deal. You ready for this beauty? They opened it over $100. And on the second day hit a high of $140. It's $17. You remember that, what was it, the cryptocurrency, the two twins? Winklevoss, I think their names. Those are the ones that got screwed out by Zuckerberg. Well, they're billionaires based on crypto. They did a $28 deal. Got open at $46. Closed the first day at $32. So you'd have lost your butt the same day. It's $4. Oh, and they fired a bunch of people. How about Klarna? $40 deal. And they opened it at $56. It's $14. StubHub. $23.5 deal. Opened it at $28. It's $7.25. And I know you know what StubHub is. You know, the people you get tickets from and you go to the venue with the supposed tickets and they tell you it's not real and StubHub never told you. That happened to somebody I know. How about White Fiber? 17 to 40. It's 16. I think I'm going to do one more because this one was highly touted. Fermi. AI-focused infrastructure. $21 deal. Let's open it at $35. It's $5.5. We're talking some serious losses, kids. And what you also need to know, very highly touted stuff. In my world, very highly touted. You had to own. It's the shape of things to come. And you got buried. Some couple of them I just reported to you down 80, 90%. So we're going to be very careful about where SpaceX, there's one called Anthropic, now in the private market says $1 trillion. $1 trillion. So we're talking lofty levels here. Careful. Careful. You know what I got asked about big time in the last 3 days? Marijuana. Not about smoking it. But by the way, you really go to Manhattan, you don't even need to smoke it, just breathe the air and you get stoned. Anyway, marijuana stocks got a little jolt last week because in his infinite wisdom, the president lowered the bar on how they're looked at or whatever. You know, don't smoke cigarettes, but weed good. My thought process, do you know how many times in the last couple of years we've seen this where the government eased up on the marijuana and you got a jam to the upside and then faded big time? You know something like MSOS? It's one of these ETFs for cannabis. 60 down to 5. It was 2. So it's actually more than doubled from the lows. How about being careful? That's all. We really helped you out with the marijuana stocks. We really did. Do you know Aurora Cannabis, one of the highly touted ones? Do you know it hit a high? I'm not making this up. At $1,250 back in, I think, 19 or 20. It's $3. Not kidding. That's why we're always talking to you about what can go wrong. Right now, if you own ADP and Paychex, you get destroyed. If you own Eli Lilly, you're getting hammered. If you own the airlines and the cruise lines, and a lot of medical issues, you're getting blasted. Domino's Pizza. A lot of the consumer staples. Blasted. And of course, you know about software. Blasted. Blasted. So we're going to continue going forward. What to avoid? You know what the latest one is? Big time. Netflix. Stock's getting hammered after rallying up because they're not buying some company. Gap down on earnings and heading lower. Netflix. You already know about Adobe and Salesforce.com, Microsoft, Oracle, SAP, Workday, HubSpot, Intuit, Zscaler, CrowdStrike. Not as bad anymore. Spotify, one of the hottest stocks in the market, topped out at $780. $4.95. So we're going to stay on top of you. Avoid this. This is what's leading. And always the proviso. It's your money, you decide. Up next. Whatever else. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Speaking of Elon Musk, I just have to let you know, listen carefully. So Tesla, high was 500 back in December, hit a low of 337. It's 378 right now. I got to read something to you, and I checked it out, and it's correct. But the market doesn't care yet. So Tesla, it's being reported by the analysts, when they came out with earnings, Tesla had a clean beat. They beat the estimates. Of the $941 million of operating income, $860 million were from one-time items, tariff rebates, warranty reversals, and tax credit sales. This would mean the company was barely profitable from their core operations, yet they reported $941 million, and the analysts were good with it. The stock did not act well on the earnings report. Just letting you know. Of course, the big story with Tesla is what they're going to do going forward. What they're going to do. The robot, by the way, I saw their robot. I was at the Barron Conference in New York City in November. It's pretty cool. The robo this and the robo that. I saw that they had this Joby Aviation. By the way, here's a little lesson. Joby Aviation is going to have these aircrafts. They're like air taxis, and it's been very hyped and touted. It's gone from 21 down to 9. And by the way, that's not a rip on them. I'm just letting you know. I'm going to do a little study on whether I think these air taxis can proliferate. Because I don't know how you roll them out so easy considering you have air traffic, regular air traffic. We'll see. But back on Tesla. Some tidbits. We're now $39 trillion of debt. We hit that. And I do want to let you know that under President Trump, in the last year, $2.6 trillion of added debt, a record. Very underreported. I do want to let you know the budget deficit as percentage of GDP in the 2000s was 2.3%. In the 2010s, it's 4.8%. In the 20s, it's 8.3%. And you want to know why I can't stand any of them? That would be your reasoning. I can't even begin to tell you how upset I am. And you know why nobody goes after each other. The Republicans go after Democrats. Democrats go after Republicans on the debt, right? You do know why, right? Because they're all freaking guilty. Just remember, they hate us. We're just marks. We're nobodies. 39 trillion of debt. Just letting you know. I'm just running through this, the numbers each year. And I have to tell you, wow. Tidbits. In August of 20, Exxon was removed from the Dow. Salesforce.com was added. Exxon is up 400%. Salesforce.com is down 39%. What a great move by the people at Dow. By the way, I'm pretty darn sure Nike, I gather they got to replace it soon. I'm trying to think if they're going to replace it with another retailer. I actually have no idea. Costco. I would not be surprised if Nike was taken out and Costco was put in, making it even more skewed because Costco is a $1,000 price, and that would make it the highest price name in the Dow. Yeah, that would be the retailer. It wouldn't be Target because of all their problems, which are trying to get resolved. I would say Costco. We'll see. And that's a little bit of your tidbits as we have another eventful weekend, and we just hope that whoever is thinking about doing what this schmuck did over the weekend is thinking twice, because he is never going to see the light of day. I'm just ripping paper, by the way, ever again. And as much as we can't stand any of them, we don't want any of them harmed. Ever. And as I said, there's not going to be any unity. It's not in them. Unfortunately. Tomorrow, ready for this? Coke, Corning, Franklin Resources, GM, Hilton, JetBlue, Invesco, Kimberly-Clark, PACCAR, Sherwin-Williams in the Dow, S&P Global, Spotify, UPS, Booking Holdings, F5 Networks, Landstar, this is just tomorrow, Robinhood, Seagate, Starbucks, I keep them in business, Teradyne, T-Mobile, Visa in the Dow, Waste Management, they get my garbage, Werner Enterprises, that's just tomorrow. So be ready, we're ready. The ones we are looking forward to is the Big Five, but something like a SanDisk that is between SanDisk and some of these others, the acceleration of their earnings and sales is boffo, if that's a word. Absolute boffo. We think Google is set up, Meta's set up, Amazon's set up. We just have no idea what the market's going to do with them into earnings reports. And some of them are sandbagging, meaning that guidance is very low so they can beat the number, which is usually good news. You all have a great evening. Drive carefully when you get home. Do like we do. Make sure you hug your family, hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise they will be well. Until tomorrow, good night.